What's up, course heroes? Welcome to yet another video. This is your boy Amit, and today I'm excited to check out GoBrunch. It's on AppSumo. It's a platform that you can use to hold meetings, webinars, one-on-one sessions, and lots more. Let's go check it out. All right, so this is their deal page on AppSumo. They have a ton of reviews. So I thought I would check it out. I reached out to the owner of GoBrunch, Richard, and his name is listed right here. Super cool guy. I told him, hey, I would be willing to do an honest review, and is there any way you can hook me up with a code in exchange for an honest review? So thank you, Richard, for hooking me up for this review. And for those of you watching, this getting the code does not impact my review of GoBrunch. There are some things I like about it. Some things that I'm going to show you could be better. Hopefully they are on the roadmap. What is it selling for right now though? One code is going for $79. There's up to 3 code stacking. And the more codes you stack, the more participants you get, the more storage you get. And then you also get the extra organizers, and you can see all the breakdown. So without further ado, let's dive into the platform and see what it's all about. All right, so I'm in my GoBrunch homepage. When you first log in, you will see something similar to this. And then again, depending on which code you have picked from AppSumo, you will have different options available. The cool thing is that no matter what code you do pick, this is what's included for everyone. So that's really awesome, and I personally think that this is a fairly priced deal, very generous deal. So with that, let's look at what the platform is capable of doing. So right off the bat, in your dashboard, you can create any of these different events, and we're going to try a few of them today, not all of them. And the first thing I want to do, which is probably the most used use case, is the webinar. But I do want to preface that to me, GoBrunch looks more than a webinar platform. I can see this as a co-working space where you're hanging out with your coworkers, or hell, even with your friends, your family. You can create a highly interactive room, have your friends, your family in that interactive room. I'm going to show you one of those. I was actually at a nightclub with my buddies, so I'm going to show you how to set up a nightclub. And with that, let's dive into this webinar and see what options we have available. So I can click on the get started here for my webinar, and let's give this webinar a name. Now you can check this box if you're running a test webinar, which I always recommend to run a test before you go live to your audience. Once you've filled in the name, you just click next, and you're going to say when is this happening. So you can pick a date and time in the future, or you can just say now. So I'm going to say now, and I'm going to say we're going to do this webinar for 2.5 hours. You can also add an extra layer of security by adding a key. And if you say yes, then you can type in your own key here. For this demo purposes, I'm just going to say no. And then would you like to collect registrations for this webinar, for which I will say yes. And then once you say yes, the room layout opens up. Now, when I first started using GoBrunch as a first-time user, this was a brand new concept to me. So it took me a little while to understand what does gourmet mean, what does prime chef mean, and what does things with no name mean. Essentially, what it breaks down to are the different tiers that are available to me as a user. So I can upgrade. If I'm on my free plan, then I will not be able to select gourmet, or I also won't be able to select prime chef. So I'll only be able to select rooms that don't have any names near them. But since I am on an AppSumo plan, and the plan was donated to me by the GoBrunch team, I can pick any of these rooms. Here's the nightclub that I was telling you about. So for this demo, let's pick this beach balcony room. You can see it has up to 6 spots. I'm going to show you how you can add more spots to any room, no matter what the size is. So let's use this one, which has 6 spots, and click create. So with that, my webinar has been created. Now I can open this up and see that I have my webinar created, or I can just simply click this link to get into my webinar. Here I'm given the option, would you like to enter? So I can either say yes or no. I'm going to say yes. Let's go ahead and enter the webinar. And that's going to open up the webinar room to me. You will see my second camera in a second. But before we do that, I want to show you a few things here. First is the GoBrunch branding. You can get rid of it by hitting this little minus button here. One thing to note here is I did get a little stuck. So hopefully the team is watching this and they can fix it. Is when I try to add an image, if that image is over 300 kilobytes, then the screen just went a little dark, and the only way for me to gain control back was to refresh the whole screen. So just keep that in mind, that your image, if you're adding any sponsored elements here, should be under 300 kilobytes. Now, as far as these circles go, I can go and choose any circle to sit on, and I'm also going to enable my circle cam so you can see my face right here, and you can see this happens pretty fast in real time. As I'm clicking, there's no lag, and I can easily bounce from one seat to another. So I can enable that, or I can enable a larger camera, which will then disable my circle camera and put me here in this larger window. So I'm going to X out of this and go back to my circle camera. I can also enable my mic or disable it. And then I can do all my screen sharing functions are available here. I can choose whether I want to share a screen, whether I want to share a YouTube video. All those options are available here. Now, one thing to note before I move along the line down here, on here, if I click my name, you will see I have some options available. So as I'm interacting with my webinar attendees, I can just choose a GIF, and that GIF will start playing over and over again on my circle. And in order for me to stop it, I just need to click on it, and then that GIF stops playing. Similarly, I can do thumbs up, thumbs down reactions. I can raise my hand, or I can clap. There are all sorts of different reactions available. So you can choose any of these reactions. And once you've chosen it, it stays on your circle. And if you don't want it, you just click on it again, and then it disappears. Then I have my quick mic controls here and also my camera controls. So if you wanted just that, you can minimize the controls down here and still continue to use your quick controls for your mic, your reactions, and then also adding GIFs. So that's pretty cool. Now, I had said earlier that no matter what the size of the room, you can add more attendees by adding more circles. Let me show you how that works. I can go to this room button right here, and then I can click on background and editor. And in this, what I can do is add more circles. Now, one thing I wish I could do here is just keep clicking to add more circles. So right now, if I keep clicking, nothing happens, but I can also click one circle and hit duplicate. So that will automatically add the next one. If I hit duplicate twice, it doesn't add it twice. So I think duplicate only works once, but you can see how easy it is for me to rearrange these circles. Now, the other cool thing is, let's say that this is an event, a webinar that you're running where you have assigned seatings by color. You can go and change the colors of these circles to different colors. And you can tell your attendees that, hey, the blue circles are for specific group of people and the red circles are for specific group of people. So that kind of flexibility I have not seen in a platform where you can go down to the granular level of changing the circle colors. Another cool thing here is I can add navigation. So I can click this and add a navigation here, and I can choose what to do for this navigation. So if I have a breakout room, I can say that this navigation should go to a breakout room. And when your attendees hover over the navigation, they will see what that navigation takes them to. But if you want to provide them with visual cues, you can also add a piece of text on top of it. So here I can type my message and put it right above my breakout room icon. Just make sure that the text rectangle box is not covering your actual call to action link. In the canvas editor here, we can also look at some of these other controls. So let's say I want to delete this circle. I can select it and hit delete. Do the same thing here and get rid of some of these extra circles. You have your undo and redo options here. You can send things to back, bring them to front. Then you can also embed videos and audio files. So if I click on this video embed, I can put in an embed code here and hit OK. And now it's going to pull in my Loom video. And I found this pretty interesting because you could have your attendees watching a video, and instead of pulling that up during the presentation, you can just have it embedded right into the canvas. So as soon as your attendees join, they can click and watch that video. And I can also add images here. So I can change the background of this with my own background. So I can choose that here, and then also adjust the canvas height. And finally, I can choose what the text style is. Once I'm satisfied with my customization, I can just hit the save button. As you can see, this is now my customized room. I have my breakout room link here and my text right above it. I have my video embed, and then I also have my blue and green circles. So I, as a host, I can just go and sit anywhere I want. Now your attendees can also sit anywhere they want unless you choose not to do so. So next we're going to look at the room settings. For that, I'm going to go back to this room and I'm going to click on room settings. So first I can change the room here. I can even change the layout of the room if I don't like it. Let's look at some of these things on the left side here. I can auto seat people, and if I uncheck that, then your attendees won't be automatically seated. They would have to click one of the open spots to sit in it. You can also choose some of these other options, whether your attendees can have access to their own mic and camera. So if you are running a webinar that's listen only, you obviously want to keep those unchecked. You can also ask people to enable their camera. So you can go through all these settings here. My favorite is the bad words filter. So if someone types bad words into the chat, that message will not come across. Now I haven't found a setting where I can upload my own bad word filters, but I like that option is there for me to use. And then on the right side here, you can again change your room privacy, your room layout, and also the mode, whether it's dynamic or presentation mode. Let's go ahead and change our room layout. So once you have made your changes, just go ahead and hit update, and those changes are going to go into effect. All right, so my browser window has refreshed, and now you can see I'm in a completely new room, and all those other options are still down here for me to choose from. So again, going back to this room, I went into room settings, and that's where you can make your changes. You can also choose custom URL, and you can add your own URL. That way you can rename the room. There's also CNAME settings. I'm going to get to those in a second, but let's first go through all the other options. We already looked at background and editor. You can also have on-demand videos handy for your attendees to watch. And then there's also this thing called open world permissions, where you can make this room public and it'll be available on GoBrunch's platform for anyone to discover this room. And then finally, I can also end and lock this room so the meeting will immediately be ended. Next to this, you'll see something called all rooms. Now, all rooms comes into space if you have multiple rooms for your attendees, and these could be breakout rooms, or you could be running a virtual summit. And on that virtual summit, you might have attendees that are bouncing from one summit to another. You can have multiple rooms doing that. And right now I hadn't selected that option, but here I have this little plus button to add a brand new room. So I can just call it whatever, room 2, and add my start and end time for that room, and then all other controls for my room attendees. I'm not going to do that right now, but I am going to create an event with multiple rooms so you can see what that looks like. So that was for all rooms. Down here, you'll also see a couple of other options where you can remove the GoBrunch branding, and you can also broadcast your video and audio to all rooms, which is pretty cool. I like that option. So right now I'm going to leave them unchecked. And then finally, you have your attendees here. You can enable or disable everyone's camera and mic at the same time, or you can just search for a specific attendee and enable/disable their mic and camera. And then on the right side, you will see your room chat. If you don't want to see this, you can simply click the little chat icon and it'll get minimized. So those are high-level settings and how to use GoBrunch as a webinar platform. Next, what I want to do is show you how the multiple rooms option works. So for that, let's go and set up an event, and this event will help us set up multiple rooms, or that's the idea I want to use. And I'm going to set up an event for a bunch of my friends. They're all invited to different card games, and all those card games are going to happen inside this event. And we can say that this event is happening right now. It's going to run for about 2 hours and no secret key, and I don't want to collect registrations either. Now here it's going to ask me how many booths or networking rooms would I like to add. So I'm going to say 5 rooms, and then from here we saw this earlier where you can choose your different layouts. So let's go ahead and pick a different layout this time. I'm going to choose the nightclub layout because we are playing card games in the nightclub. So now going back to my spaces, I can filter these by category. So if I want to see just my events, I can click on that specific filter and you will see my card games room is right here, and then I have all the different sessions. So I can go into each of those sessions, and what I want to do now is rename those sessions. So first I'm going to go into this room setting and call this Blackjack. All right, so I have renamed all of the rooms with the different games. So we have Blackjack, Texas Hold'em, regular poker, winner circle 1, winner circle 2, and the lobby. From here, I can simply click on join on any of these rooms to join them. So let's go ahead and click on the lobby, and that way I'll be put into the lobby room. So this is really how I envision events and other social things being used. Is you can create a bunch of rooms, and then from there you can choose which rooms you want to be in, which rooms you want your participants to be in. And once you're in here, you can always click on all rooms and then choose which room you want to go to next. Now we also looked at removing the GoBrunch branding, and then also broadcasting your video and audio to all rooms. So you could do that from here. You can also add new rooms right here by clicking the little plus button, or you can simply join any other room that you'd like. As for your attendees, you can go into room settings and you still have those same settings available to everyone. So you can do that. One thing to note here is, let's say that of these rooms, you don't want your winner circle rooms to be accessible to everyone. In that case, what I can do is go join that room and then choose a passcode for that room. Or I could have potentially done it with the edit button. Yep, I can go with the edit button, make this room private, and then type in my secret key. And this way, no one else will be able to join this room unless they have that secret key. So right now we are in winner circle 1. If I go back to a different room, I'm going to hop back into winner circle 1 and see if I'm asked the passcode. Because I am the organizer, I might be able to just hop in without the password, but your attendees are going to have to give that password in order to join this room. Now the other cool thing here, let's say your winner circle only needs 4 instead of the 8 spaces that are available here. You could change the layout of this room to a 4-person layout, or what you can do is go into the editor and simply delete some of the circles that you don't need, and that way only 4 people can be in here playing the game. I've deleted 4 of the different seats that were available, and once I hit save, now this room has become a 4-person room and the other people won't be able to take a seat. So that's really cool, the versatility of what you can do with GoBrunch, and the ideas of the different events you can run is just limited to your imagination. I found this platform to be super simple to use, very intuitive. This is such a breakout and a breath of fresh air from using your traditional Zoom or Microsoft team meetings. Even if it's to do a evening happy hour and get your coworkers together, that's the part I love about GoBrunch. Now let's look at some of the other settings within GoBrunch. So I'm going to exit out of this room and we're going to go back to our main homepage. So these are all the different types of meetings you can run or events you can run within GoBrunch. From here, you can also go to your spaces, and this will be all the different rooms that you have set up in the past. From here, you can go to your spaces. Kind of reminds me of MySpace, but Here you can see all the different events that you have set up, and then you have your help center, and then finally in the top right corner here you have your account settings. You can create sub accounts. So if you go back in here, you get 50 sub accounts on the tier 3 plan, and then 35 sub accounts on the tier 2 plan. So for those sub accounts, this is where you'll go, and you can create those sub accounts right in here by dropping a CSV file. I haven't tried this, but you can see here in the CSV, you just need a name and an email, and then you would be able to send them an authentication. And once they accept it, they will be able to create their sub accounts. And then one more thing here, if we go back to the AppSumo plan, you can see custom domains. On tier 2, you get 1 custom domain. On tier 3, you get 7 custom domains. In order to enable custom domain, what you want to do is go to your account and go to my account. And then from here at the bottom, you can create your subdomains by adding the CNAME and also uploading a logo. And once you do that, you can hit the create button, and then your sub accounts will be created. Sorry, your custom domain will be created. Also on their homepage are some of their key features listed here. And then further down, you will see different ways you can use GoBrunch. So definitely give it a try. I'm going to drop my link in the description. You can use my link, support my YouTube channel, and get your copy of GoBrunch. And there you have it, course heroes. That's how you can use GoBrunch for your next meeting and spice it up. So check out GoBrunch. I'm going to put that link in the description. As always, don't forget to smash that subscribe button so you get notified next time I release a new video. And until next time, keep creating.